Only Nicolas Cage, man. Only Nicolas Cage. Pig is brought to us by director Michael Sarnowski and stars Nicolas Cage and Alex Wolff. So going into this movie, I was expecting something a bit different than what I got, and that would primarily be because the trailer to this movie is kind of misleading. The trailer kind of leads you down a road to think that this is going to be kind of a John Wick-ish kind of flick where this guy has lost his pig and he goes on kind of a revenge tour to rescue his beloved pig. And while yes, the movie is about Nicolas Cage's character who is a truffle hunter out in the Oregon wilderness with his pig, and his pig does get kidnapped in the middle of the night and he does go searching for it, that is about where the comparisons between this movie and John Wick end. This is not some big action revenge tale, nor is the movie as strange and off-kilter as the synopsis would lead you to believe. This is actually a really interesting character study of a man who's just done. He doesn't want anything to do with it all anymore. He wants to be left the fuck alone in the woods with his pig. And man, this movie was really good. How they took a story about a man and his pig and made it so interesting is kind of amazing. And while the story of this movie absolutely plays a part in all that, the two things that really make this movie so great are the absolutely fantastic performances and the wonderful direction that we have here. You put these two together and you've got something really special here. For any of you that have watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I love me some Crazy Cage. Mandy, Color Out of Space, Vampire's Kiss, Face Off. I love when Nicolas Cage goes all Crazy Cage. But that is not what he's doing here. We kind of forget that Nicolas Cage is actually a good actor. He is an Academy Award winning actor. And here in this movie, he reminds us of that fact. This is not Crazy Cage. This is Academy Award winning Nicolas Cage. I know the movie's premise seems like this should be a Crazy Cage performance, but really the only Crazy Cage thing going on here is the fact that he picked a movie about a man trying to rescue his pig. And while some of you may be disappointed that we're not getting some of that nutty as hell Crazy Cage here, don't worry because he makes up for it with this fantastic performance. Oddly enough, his character doesn't even say that much throughout the movie. However, when he does say something, it's really deep and very impactful. This is a performance that we see in his face. It's in his mannerisms, his body language. Even though he's not speaking much in the film, we always know how his character's feeling. This is a performance that in lesser capable hands would come in way over the top and probably a bit too much, or just super bland and boring, but Nicolas Cage knows what he's doing here and he shows us, bitch, I'm not just Crazy Cage, I'm Academy Award winning Nicolas Cage. But that's not to discount our co-star Alex Wolff. This guy just keeps on killing it in everything he's in. And Pig is no different. He does a fantastic job here and I'm really looking forward to the great career this guy is most likely going to have. Now the other key component here is the directing. This movie is directed beautifully. As I said, the movie has a fairly simple, straightforward story. But what Sarnowski has done here is taken this fairly simple story and inhabited it with very complex, interesting characters. And he never speaks down to the audience. Our characters don't tell us anything. We see everything. Sarnowski clearly has a wonderful eye for visual storytelling. The shot composition and editing here does a fantastic job of telling us this story without anyone ever speaking a word. Overall, it's just a really great looking film. And while it's not very flashy, it is really interesting to look at throughout its fairly brief runtime of an hour and a half. And one of the best things about the movie is that there is a story behind the story, but no one ever even speaks of it throughout the entire film, but you know it by the time you get to the end. You've seen it. They didn't have to say what it was. There's no forcing it down your throat. There's no like heavy-handedness to any of it. You know it from what the movie has shown you and these wonderful performances that we've got. We don't get a lot of filmmaking like this anymore, but it was very welcome and I'm hoping that more people take a cue from Sarnowski's book. Guys, Pig was a fantastic film. I don't know exactly what I expected out of this movie, but it definitely wasn't this. This was so much more than I ever thought it would be. We have a simple yet interesting story with some fantastic performances that is directed beautifully. The film never panders to the audience, nor does it do any hand-holding. What it does is tells a fantastic story that is absolutely worth a buy.
Good. Do it!
Show me the money!
Do it!
You motherfucker!
So,
Show me the money!
do it.
I never expected this movie to be nearly as deep and influential as it was. But hey, it was, and I'm all the happier for it. So if you're looking for a deep, interesting movie that may challenge you at times, but ultimately is extremely gratifying, then check out Pig one night, and I think you'll have a wonderful time with it. So there it is, guys, my review of Pig. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits that go along with that, like these guys. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Portland.
We don't get a lot of things to really care about.
So this movie was probably the most A24 movie that is ever A24 that was not made by A24. Oh yeah, and by the way, slight spoiler alert, there's no pig fucking in this movie, so that's great. And yeah, that was a concern, so A24.